out there in social isolation. Welcome to Thrones of Game. This is the Game of Thrones podcast that watches the series backwards. Now, I've never heard the show before. Man, we've got some content for you to catch up on. My name is BT Calloway. I've already seen the entire show. And joining me is Elliot Jay O'Neill, who is watching Game of Thrones for the first time ever, but in reverse order. Elliot, how are you, buddy?
Oh, it's a great day, week, month, year to be inside.
It sure is. You're 1.5 standard meters away, and we just watched Season 5, Episode 6, entitled Unbowed, Unbent, Unbroken. Elliot, what just happened?
Oh, well, in this episode... Man.
Had a feeling.
Unboring. Oh, wait, that's interesting.
Yeah. No.
Unbinteresting. This sucked.
Yeah, for everyone else out there, this is the episode where Marjorie Tyrell gets imprisoned, Callisbod and Tyrion Lannister get caught and sold into slavery, and Sansa gets married to Ramsay Snow. The
wedding episode.
Yeah, one of the most controversial episodes of Game of Thrones. So we'll get into that.
Oh, controversial. Why?
Yes, so, all right, we'll just tear this Band-Aid off. So the very ending, where Sansa and Ramsay are alone in the bedchamber and he does his whole psycho bit. He's all like, no, Reek, I want you to stay and watch. There was a controversial bit in the sense that the camera... it finishes focusing on Reek rather than focusing on Sansa. And so a lot of people were angry that, oh, this is, sexual abuse, but it's always about the man in the room. And I totally disagree, because to me, we're Reek at this point. We're powerless to do anything. And so it focuses on him because that's us. That's us sitting here watching this, unable to stop.
Look, I mean, I'm one of the most wokiest, progressiest fucking PC loony lefties that have got mad ever, but oh man, that's a bit rich even for me. That's
what I felt. And I mean, we were talking a few episodes ago, I can't remember which one it was, about how things can be more distressing when you can hear them but not see them, because audio is how we communicate distress as people. There's no hand signal for help me, but there is an audio cue, which is yelling help. And so I think that ties into this, being able to hear what's going on but not see it. First of all, fills in so many more terrifying blanks in your mind, but also I think is just more emotionally distressing, and you feel that more. And like I said, Reek at this point is the audience surrogate, and that's my thought on it.
Well, they've explained his connection to Sansa as well, and explained that there's family ties. He's known her from a young age. There's tension between Sansa and Reek at the moment, and they're just under this fucked up regime. And Theon is having to play gimp to this scene. Yeah, I thought it was about the art there, and if you were to focus on the female in that situation, it would just be a distressing rape scene, whereas this one is distressing, but you don't actually see anything. Yeah,
it's about what's happening and about the connections and the characters and everything else.
And the fact that, he's doing his shaking and just bawling routine. I think this is actually the only scene that had any sort of landing with me in the episode, and I think it completed its desired effect. And I mean, I'm a man, so I've got a different perspective in the situation. So ultimately I don't know.
But this aired, and a lot of people were like, we have to focus on, Reek, don't we? Because it's all about him. And I was like, no. But again, also, dude. So what's your opinion out there? Yell it at your podcast player now. Okay, well, that's interesting. So also I just want to kind of include that you're not going to get this in the reverse watch, but in the forward watch, there was this kind of weird hope because, Ramsay's all excited about making this alliance by marrying Sansa, and you think, okay, maybe he's going to be nice to her, and she's not going to know about all this horrible shit because he's nice with her. He needs her as an ally and a producer of his heir, and you think maybe that's the way it's going to go, and then nope. That just got crushed completely. So this was an emotional impact episode on the first watch through. But talking about this one being a bit of a snoozer, I mean, I have 3 main bullet points for what happens in this episode, and it's an hour of television where 3 main things happen. But we get a lot of other little bits and pieces. So, what was your most valuable part, Elliot?
Oh, that the thing we just talked about, the thing where I said that one scene that landed for me. That was the scene that landed for me. I didn't even like Sasquatch in this episode.
She was a little muted, old Sasquatch. She didn't get all her sass. She got a bit of sass in.
A little bit of homophobic sass.
Yeah, well, she's very blunt. I don't think she's phobic, just more, just call him whatever, don't care.
Yeah, okay.
That just seems to be... Later, there's this episode somewhere where someone goes, oh, we've heard rumors about your nephew. And she's like, yes, he's a sword swallower. So what? It just doesn't, it's just blunt with it.
I guess she was by his side in the courtroom, so...
No, she got the one little fire off where she's like trying to get Cecil Lannister to pay attention to her, and Cecil's like, oh yes, the tart tongue of the Queen of Thorns. And she's like, oh yes, and the famous tart Queen Cersei.
Yeah, okay, I'll pay that bit of sass.
It was just like, ha! Nice.
Speaking of Seesaw, though, we've got a bit of crow to eat, or, I don't know, three-eyed raven to
Do we?
eat.
What are we eating?
We've been fucking up Lena Headey's name.
Yeah, that's right. Look, we're an unconventional podcast. I've said that before. If anything, I want to apologize for not making more mistakes. We've also been calling Braun, like, for ages, but,
And Cersei Seesaw, and...
Well, no. Braun was an actual mistake of the fact that I could never quite catch what his name was. Caesar was a joke, but, yes, apologize.
Like, seriously, in every episode we see Mormont and they call him Mormont, I'm like, oh, Calloway has a name. Wait, I fucking knew that. I write this note for the last 5 episodes. He has a name.
To be fair, even Calispod / Jorah Mormont has a bunch of nicknames like Captain Friendzone.
Yeah.
So, that's nicknames are pretty common throughout this. So, okay, it's Lena Henley.
Headey. So it's spelt Heady. So that's where I think you got Headley from.
Yeah.
Because that is a name, and it's sort of like missing an L.
And somewhere I just filled in the blank.
But yeah, it is spelt like head, but it's pronounced he, not helped by the fact that, it's the same syllable sound.
Oh.
But it's spelt EY at the end, so it's Heedy.
Yeah.
So you got 2 different spellings of the same sound.
You know how I'll remember that?
How?
Because her house sigil is the lion, and Wimmo away.
Yeah. Okay, yep, I pay it.
Lion sleeps tonight. Yeah, that's what I'm going with. Oh, man, let's see. My MVP here... actually, no, quickly cutting back to Sansa's bit, I did want to mention that most of this episode, we bounce from, like, Arya to Calispod and Tyrion, back to Arya, it's back to, Littlefingering about, back to Sasqueen, back to Littlefinger again. Whereas when we get to Sansa, it is just all Winterfell throughout that entire bit, and I really like that that's an unbroken thing. She's having this little... bath and a chat with the psycho chick whose name is Miranda. Never trust a Miranda.
Oddly enough, she is such a Charlotte.
Yeah, weird. But she's all just like, oh, you don't want to get Ramsay. She's gone full salad finger, so you don't want to get Ramsay pawed. Oh, the others, they were so pretty until he murdered them. And Sansa gets like one little last moment of power when she's all like, what's your name? She's like, oh, Miranda, my lord. How long have you been in love with him? Don't try to intimidate me in my own house. Get the fuck out.
No, I had her as a note, as well as Bob Cut Girl, that, these women are trying to pull the psycho routine, but they cannot hold a candle to Confess Lady.
No. They could all be like, oh, I'm ever so deadly when we go on these little hunts for Ramsay's fault. Confess. Oh, I'll shut up.
Yeah. I killed my stepmother too because I'm the rare mother. Oh, fuck.
Exactly. Confess, lady, forever.
And then she cuts off her bob cut herself.
That haircut is awful. Haircut.
Cut hair.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, sorry.
So I was just going to say quick notes. Names of things. So that place with the weird tree with a face in it is called the Godswood. That's a pretty good name. And also apparently the Bolton's home castle is called the Dreadfort. I mean, for fuck's sake, how many clues do you need that someone is evil? Their banners are like flayed people and they come from the Dreadfort. They're like, a He-Man villain, for fuck's sake.
Yeah, that's straight out of 80s cartoon supervillain writing. It's like that episode of Jessica Jones where she calls out Kilgrave? Kilgrave. Why'd you make that up when you were 8? Yes.
Is it like murder, death, taken? Yep. All right, so my MVP on this one, I'm going to combine this with another one of our segments, Cock Talk.
What's that? It's Cock Talk.
Yep. So basically when Calispod and Tyrion, what's our current nickname for Tyrion?
Barney Rubble.
Is it Barney Rubble? I thought it had something to do with drinking or falling over.
Barney Tipple? I don't know.
Whatever. Barney Rubble.
Barney Stumble?
Yeah, Barney Stumble. When they get, cornered by these slavers and they're all deciding what to do with them, like, we'll sell him to the salt mines. Just kill the dwarf. He's not worth it. Oh, take his cock, though. Dwarf cocks are magic. And Tyrion's like, wait. You have to, surely you must present the dwarf to the cock merchant before you can't just give it to him. How is he known? He's like, well, it'll be a dwarf-sized cock. And he goes, guess again.
Oh, that was just such a... I like this, Matt.
Yeah, he's funny. Bring him along.
Yeah, this reminds me, like, I pay this scene as well in the Sea of Boredom. But this reminds me of, like, because I'm getting really into Better Call Saul again. It's currently in its 5th season. It's pretty amazing. And watching, because Tyrion and Saul have something in common where they are the mouth. They talk their way out of situations. So watching the fucked up situations that the shows put them in and watching them, you know, then get back out of it, it's always entertaining.
Yeah.
And yeah, this is another great example of it where he's just like going to throw down. He's like, I'm rocking a tripod. Fuck you.
Pretty much. And no one checks, which is good. Or maybe they did and that's just off screen. Who knows? But yeah, that's probably going to get my MVP. It's just a great little, tense moment of how they're going to get out of this. And I like they lean to the strength of the characters. You know, Jorah Mormont's a fighter. Tyrion's a talker. He talks his way out of it naturally.
Yep. All right. And are we zipping up Cock Talk again for this week?
I believe we are. So zip. That's all of Cock Talk. The other kind of moment I wanted to throw to as a potential MVP is a great little back and forth between Littlefinger and Cersei, which is like all just subtext. And I enjoy that when, you know, they're talking about things that you haven't seen yet, but, you know, there's just, one's choice of companions is a curious thing, kind of, you know, looking at Cersei. It's like, yeah, I know you're banging your brother. And she's all like, oh, yeah, and it's so unfortunate that your wife met with such an end. But now you're in power. Well, isn't that nice? And he's like, yep, that's nice, isn't it? Yes.
Yeah. Like, even though I was sort of drifting in and out of this scene, I do like it again for what I was explaining on a previous episode where Cersei's the kind of person that, you know, will make you snap. She's not going to be the one who snaps herself. Seeing that something that does make her blood boil is
just provokes her just a little bit. Because, she's got a bit later when they're in the whole trial of Loras where she's all like, oh, no, how can you say these things? This is the queen. And you're like, we get it, you bitch.
Yeah. Oh, no, you can see she's playing 3D chess. Like whereas Littlefinger's just a bit sort of raise an eyebrow at certain things he says. Like, yeah, you can see the gears turning in Cersei.
For sure. And I do like some of Littlefinger's lines when he gets confronted by the Faith Militant. And he's oh, come on now. We both sell fantasies. Mine are just entertaining.
So is he a brothel owner? Is that what? Okay.
Yeah, you'll get to that eventually. I did find out that the reason there's not a lot of nudity in this, they're like all in the first 2 seasons. So when we get there, everywhere, the nudity. But for this episode, there was none.
Nope.
That's my third question. Nudity. That's it. That's over now.
Zip that up faster than Cock Talk.
I know. Well, I mean, that's why we had to spend so long on Cock Talk today. What else we got here? Oh, yes, the one bit of violence.
Oh, my God. Cue Thanos quote, all that for a drop of blood.
Yeah, I'm starting to learn that maybe the sand vipers or sand snakes, I'm not sure, and I'm not going to look it up. Deal with it. I think they might...
The sandheads.
Yeah. I think they might suck.
Yeah?
Yeah. I mean, it's a 3-on-2 fight here. First of all, okay, so I'm not even sure what they're doing, but something. They're trying to get Marcella for some reason. They all chuck on, like, ninja gear, and it's like, it's pretty fucking obvious who you are. I don't know why you have ninja face coverings on. You all carry signature weapons. Like, people know who you are.
All right, and I don't want to besmirch the name of Mortal Kombat, because I love Mortal Kombat.
I know.
Unironically and ironically at the same time. How do I do that? Yin-yang, it's part of the dragon symbol in the Mortal Kombat. I do the same
thing with the Resident Evil movies, man.
Exactly. But I'm watching Game of Thrones here. I don't really want Mortal Kombat in my Game of Thrones, and that's what I felt this fight scene was. It was fucking silly. Like, yeah, it was totally Mortal Kombat. Each of the ninja chicks had their 3 different weapons, and it was all flippy-loos and, like, near misses and clang and no actual hits until a fucking single tiny little cut on an arm.
Yeah.
Stop the fight. We must impress. This has gone too far. Fucking hell.
Yeah, like I said, I think they actually suck because this is a 3-on-2 fight. Yeah, you got Bronn there, who's awesome. You got Jaime Lannister, who's fighting with his offhand. And, you know, this they have the numbers. They have, you know, the training and skill, apparently. But, no, they get one cut in. Yeah. And that's it.
Out of curiosity, when Jaime got his arm cut off, I know you don't want to get into spoilers.
Backshadowing, yeah.
But did he happen in that scene to then try and fight with his decapitated hand, a.k.a. his off hand?
Haha, no.
Imagine that, fighting with his offhand with his offhand.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
I make wordplay good.
You good indeed. But yeah, this whole scene starts with a bit of Marcella and Tristan having some like a Romeo and Juliet kind of moment. It's like, I remember how this happens for you. Poison and a spear through the face.
Spear to the face.
Mm-hmm. Get a bit more of Bron singing. He's super good.
Yep. I was excited. I was like, oh, who has an unexpected what a lovely singing voice this week. But no, it was just Bron again.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, doing his buddy cop routine with Jamie. It's just such a shame because, I just wish I could have liked this scene that much more, but there's just such an overabundance of talking in this episode. And especially when they'd already been talking with two people walking through a valley and talking on a beach and talking in a box and...
Talking, all the goddamn talking.
Talking in a hall and talking under locks. I don't know.
All right, but yeah, we also get a bit of Arya cleaning bodies and being a bobcat in a black smock. And this is all just... stuff.
Glory.
Yeah. Well, trouble is you've seen all the big reveals. This would have been cool in the forward watch of going downstairs to the big room of faces.
I suppose.
I do want to know how they get to those faces because there were no ladders in that room and they were high up.
Yeah.
So reveal your secrets, you freaking weird place.
Well, we've even seen when Arya's able to just sort of peel face after face after face. Like maybe there is like a rotating system like at a laundromat when, the little... coat rack thing that brings your suit around when you get it dry cleaned.
There's just a guy who's like, yes, what can I do for you? That face up there, right back in a jiff. Gets like a big hook, kind of lifts it down there. Huh?
Oh, yeah. So what was with the girl, the sick girl that dude brought in?
The sick girl the dude brought in, that was a whole, because Arya's telling... Jesus Assassin. I don't know if we got a name for him yet. Assassin's Creed guy.
Because he was trying to do his own bit of confess lady in this episode.
A little bit.
Lies. So because I've been referring to him as the dude, a.k.a. the Big Lebowski, I called him now the Big Lie-bowski.
Okay, well, run with it. So yeah, she's, because there's that scene where she's talking to the Big Lie-bowski, and he's, she's telling the story of how she got here and threading in some lies to see if she can, trick him, and he's, whipping her with a stick and saying lies. And then later on, when this sick girl is dying, she makes up a story and tells it to her to make her feel better, and that's kind of like her succeeding in that task.
Oh, okay.
That she's learning to become no one by giving false information, but naturally as though it was real information, sort of like acting itself.
Right.
So I mean, the whole thing does start with bitch face Bobcat giving her backstory, and then being at the end like, was any of that true? So you don't even know. See, I'm that good. I'm like a shadow. I'm gone.
Wow.
Except not as fun because I called it bitch face Bobcat for a reason.
And neither of them went to join the theatre troupe later seasons,
Wasted opportunity. Spin-off show, theatre troupe. Just having good times, traveling across the land, doing plays.
But it's like how the Unit 101 for this course to be a faceless assassin or whatever, like that credit will transfer over into your acting degree.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little bit of assassin, a little bit of acting. It's all the same, really.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's combat theatre training. That opens you up to, fight scenes and stuff.
Yeah, I do genuinely wonder how many celebrities could actually throw down from just training and for movies.
Yeah.
Because they do learn, a lot of skills and sword fighting and stuff, so surely that transfers.
Yeah.
Apparently, Daniel Day-Lewis, when he was playing a boxer, was actually, his trainer got to the end and was like, dude, you are literally good enough to actually go into fights now. If you want to change careers, I'll be your coach.
Oh, that'd be amazing. It'd do much better than his shoe cobbling business.
Yeah. Yeah, what's his fighting name here?
Daniel...
my left hook.
Oh, because he was in My Left Foot, I'm guessing?
Yeah.
There you go. Stinkin' Lincoln. Abraham Lincoln.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah, I got there.
Yeah, Daniel Punch Your Daylights Out Lewis.
I just realized how tacky my first suggestion was, given that I grew up with my brother, Lincoln, who, that was the bane of his existence, that nickname.
Oh, Abraham?
No, Stinkin'.
Oh. I mean... Smelly it, Stinkin' Lincoln.
Oh, yeah, wow. Oh, and then my oldest brother, his initials are B.O.
Oh, shit.
I never realized that.
Your parents had a vendetta, man. It'd be like, here, Miss O'Neill, here's your new baby boy. And Ew, he smells a bit. That's pretty normal for babies. Babies smell weird.
Oh my god, yeah, they talk about, their poop doesn't even stink.
Oh, it does.
Us O'Neill boys, their poop stank 3 times as much.
Well, there you go. Hey, it's good to be number one at something. And this whole scene ends with Arya just being like, nope, not playing this game anymore. And, what was his name? Libowski. God, I got confused with Abraham Lincoln. Libowski's like, we never stop playing. And I'm like, haha, it's like D&D. Don't care if you were done. We never stop.
And he was just like, no, Sandy, it's only the beginning. Down and down and down.
Yep. Always only the beginning.
Thrones is the word that you heard.
We also get a bit of, I'm going to mispronounce this, but it's made up, so fuck it. Valamagulus and Valamaharis, which I've referenced before, which is all men must serve, all men must die.
Oh, okay.
So, it's kind of like a weird back and forth they've got. I think it's High Valerian, but I'm not sure.
I thought you were saying names of people then.
No. Because there's also Dario Naharis, and that's what I got confused with Valamaharis, because come on. But that's the dude who hangs out with, Dan Brady a bunch. Who we got no Dan Brady in this episode, or John Bumshovey.
Yeah, I think that was probably what was making me a little bit more bored with this, is because, like, each episode of Game of Thrones, as far as I know, has been like these little vignettes about, 5 to 7 different locations. And so for this one to go back and forth between, only 3, it's fine. It's just that no massive events were happening in either.
Yeah.
Like, it's all very sit down and talky. Like, even big events like a wedding or a court scene, like, at the end of the day. I hate saying that because you can summarize things at any time of day. It doesn't have to be at the end of the day.
I like to summarize things at midnight sometimes.
So in the middle of the night, these are still sit down and talky scenes. So yeah, they didn't feel like they were advancing much.
You do have the disadvantage of knowing who the important players at the end are going to be.
Yeah, true.
But hey, this is the format we've chosen and we are sticking with it, God damn it.
Well, that's why I really commend the last scene as well, because again, it's very hard for me to get a lot of tension from these scenes knowing the outcome. But yeah, from the moment that, Sansa got to the end of the aisle from to the credits, I was on the edge of my recliner.
Yeah, I mean, regardless of your thoughts on the episode, it's well shot, it's well scored, very intense, very well acted.
Yeah, they stuck the landing on this one. Yeah, look, I'm like really running out of notes. I've got, the only major notes I've got left is about the courtroom scene.
I literally think I'm out. So, what are your notes on the courtroom scene?
Oh, just that it happened. So, the queen that they take away, that's the person that's been in prison as far as I've seen so
Marjorie
far.
Tyrell, who gets blown up in the sept.
Yeah, much like, when Lena Headey, oh God, that I almost went back to the old one. Headey. Yep, okay. That'll never change now. Yeah, it's like when I saw her get hair in reverse and I didn't know it was her for a second. Same with the Queen. I was like, oh, she's all dolled up. Is it?
Yeah. Yeah, no, fair. Marjorie Tyrell is a lot of fun. You'll get some stuff with her. So,
that's almost another shame, seeing where it went, because I think I don't like the Arya stuff as much because I haven't been a big fan of any of that storyline,
Yeah, well, the last 2 seasons really flubbed all of it.
Yeah. And then, same with the Queen. Her end sort of came to such a sudden fizzle that, I don't know.
Yeah, well, hardly a fizzle. That was a very large explosion. But that was
I mean in the sense that it was a fizzle until it wasn't.
Yeah, fair. That was just such a big shock for everyone because they're like, okay, she's out of prison now, and they're still having these little power struggles, and boom.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Well, fuck.
Yeah.
And then Tommen swan dives out of the window, and that's the end of that chapter. I'm out. I'm out of notes too, man. It's that's all the things I got. Well, then we must ask our final question: how did we get here?
Oh my goodness, how did we get here?
Do you want to know what the title of the next episode is?
Oh, yes.
I don't know what it is, do you? I know you got them half written down, so...
In poor handwriting. May as well for the listener. One night I had trouble sleeping, so I decided to get my Game of Thrones notepad and write down all the season and episode titles, just so I'd have them on hand. But, of course, I wrote them, at 3, 4 in the morning or something when I was really tired but couldn't sleep, so they're hard to read. I'm pretty sure it says kill the boy. Like, that kill is a little hard, right?
I mean, I'm going to have to check. That seems surprisingly blunt.
So I imagine they kill the boy. Who's the boy in this situation? Because
Yeah, it's literally kill the boy. Okay, well, I honestly don't know.
that's actually something I needed clarification because I'm allowed to clarify events that I've already seen.
Yep.
So what happened to the guy who got convicted of buggery and fornication, and what did they also convict him for? Graffiti. Like they tacked on
Blasphemy.
a bunch of low-level charges. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he gets blowed up in the Sept as well.
Okay.
Pretty sure. I'm actually not certain myself. Or maybe he's just still in the prison, which I think is in the Sept anyway. So, yeah, he would have been there when it blew up. Either way, he died.
But yeah, the whole testimony was based on the birthmark. You can see a birthmark accidentally so many ways.
Yeah, no, and that guy was his squire, who's all like, we lay together. And it's like, well, you take his armor on and off. It's fair enough to say you might have glimpsed it anyway.
Yeah.
So,
No, if he could accurately say the amount of folds in his butthole, then I think you can build a case. But, the color and shade of his birth, especially a birthmark on the thigh.
Well, I mean, if he could be like, does this man have the cock of a dwarf? No? Think again.
Show me on this banana where... Anyway.
Call the cock merchant. See, there's my spin-off series, and even though I know it's not there, it's what I want to see next time is more cock merchant. What's this guy's deal? How's he living? What's going on?
Instead of oysters, clams, and cockles, it's just cock and cockles.
Yep.
Nice.
In unison, no less. We harmonize surprisingly well. Yeah, look, spin-off series, it's right there. It'll be gross and whimsical.
Stay tuned for our reverse watch of it too.
Yep, I mean, I know I had the idea, but still. All right, well, if that puts you out of notes, that put me out of notes, and we think we know how we're going to get here, then I've overworked this exit, so that's been Elliot Jay O'Neill.
Good if bye.
I've been BT Calloway, and for now, our watch has ended. Wash your hands. Daenerys of half Targaryen, the first of her name, the Unburned, the Queen of the Andals, the and the first man, the Queen of Marine, Khaleesi of the Great Grass Sea, I missed that, but Protector of the Realm, Lady Regent of the Seven Kingdoms, Breaker of Chains, and Mother of Dragons.
A.k.a. Dan Brady.